Gonna do a quick video run through of my Plumeria. So quickly, these aren't the ones that I want to showcase. These are some recent additions that I got, except for that one. That is the original cutting that I got in 2001. I brought it back from Hawaii on the plane, and I cut it back once, and it's kind of didn't do anything for however many years it's been. It's just kind of been sitting there. Now the top of it that I took off and repotted as a cutting, a whole different story when we go to the back. This is a weird one I got from Lowe's 2 years ago. It holds on to the blooms for, it holds on to its blooms for a long time, which is kind of weird, but it works and I like it. All of these are, except for that one, are young plants that I need to do something with. This particular one, I'm not sure why the blooms on it this year didn't open fully, but this is the first year I've had it, so I will see why that didn't happen. This is my little nursery area. I'm gonna cut around to the backyard so you can see the plants that I wanted to show you. So here are the big Plumeria plants, and when I say big, I think the tallest one is pushing over 8 feet. Even though they've been cut back multiple times over the years, we'll start with the one that was the top to the other plant. So this one, which you can see is up to the top of, over the top of the house, is the top to that plant that I just showed you in the driveway. It is pretty big by Plumeria standards from what I'm typically seeing. Here is the trunk, and I am a big guy, but it is in full bloom, and I'm in almost northern Alabama. It's got lots of bloom heads on it. It's actually coming out of its busiest bloom period, but it's still putting on a bit of a show. But as you can see, even though I cut this off and that was the original cutting, I've had to cut it once, then I cut it twice, and then I cut it a third time to maintain its height since 2003 that I did this one. These are also some cuttings that I brought back from Hawaii the same time. This is the first year since 2001 I've ever had seed pods, and you can see these are about 10 inches long. There's one on this plant. They bloom super early in the season, like in the spring, before they even had leaves they put out blooms, so maybe that's the reason why. This one also has a seed pod on it, same length. That's a second flush of blooms, because like I said, this one bloomed earlier in the spring and it's blooming again. But all of them pretty healthy plants. I don't overdo it. This plant has probably been in this pot for 5 years, 6 years, hasn't been repotted. You'll see that it's just root bound sitting in the pot. I let them get dry. These have been in the same pots. I just changed them just because of the pots were looking bad, but they've just been in the same pot this entire time. You can see it has quite a strong root system. These sweet potato vines you see in this pot and this pot have been in these pots since 2006. I haven't planted them. They go in the garage when they're dormant and they come back out every year. I can't get them out of the root ball, so they are living with the plant. This is an ever blooming Plumeria. My uncle bought this one for me on an army base in Georgia somewhere, but as you can see, it's been cut a million times too. When it was little and I didn't know any better, I planted purslane in the bottom of it, and now purslane comes back every year, and I've had this one since 2006 as well. But that's kind of my Plumeria. They sit in the backyard overlooking my koi pond, and they smell pretty amazing.